Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Jacksonville where a man is facing many charges, some of them domestic assault charges, others drug and gun charges. Now on Thursday, Jacksonville police say they were called to a home at 106 Brookdale Plaza at around 4:15 a.m. for a report of a domestic violence. When officers arrived, they say 34-year-old Kyle Floyd was taken into custody after they found that he had assaulted his domestic partner. Warrants say he hit his partner multiple times in the face near the mouth. Further investigation found drugs and guns in the home, according to police. Warrants also say 3 children were in the home at the time. The investigation also revealed that Floyd had fired a gun during the event, but no one else was struck. Now, Floyd is facing the following charges: felony possession of cocaine, felony discharge of firearm into an occupied building, discharge firearm within city limits, assault by pointing a gun, misdemeanor child abuse, 3 counts, crime of domestic violence, possession of drug paraphernalia, and assault with a deadly weapon with a minor present. Now, Floyd was taken to the Onslow County Jail without bond. Now we also want to highlight what is happening with the federal government as we are now entering day 3 of the government shutdown. NBC's Ryan Nobles has more.
Day 3 of the federal government shutdown. After a key meeting between President Trump and the architect of his plans to shrink the federal government, Russ Vought. Trump yesterday, writing Vought, would now recommend which, quote, Democrat agencies to cut, adding, quote, I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity.
Well, there could be firings, and that's their fault, and it could also be other things. I mean, we could cut projects that they wanted.
As for those possible layoffs, the numbers could be staggering.
Look, it's likely going to be in the thousands.
A stark reality for Jenna Horton, a researcher at the National Institutes of Health, who's currently furloughed and can only check her email to see if she's been laid off.
We're not allowed to work, which is tough because most of us are really passionate about what we do.
Meanwhile, coast to coast, the early impacts of the shutdown are already being felt, with federal employees, including members of the military, working without pay. A food bank near Fort Leavenworth in Kansas prepping for an influx of need.
That's panic on real military families.
As the anxiety ramps up, Congress remains at a standstill. Republicans and Democrats are no closer to a breakthrough. The Senate GOP leader claiming there is nothing to negotiate.
As soon as they release the hostage, then we can talk about those other issues.
But Democrats like Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez argue the need is now, and Republicans should come to the table.
Let's make sure that people's health care premiums are protected. Let's end this shutdown. Let's get people fed, and let's get these paychecks back flowing.
The two sides still very much stuck in their positions with no signs of a breakthrough.
And again, that was Ryan Nobles reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast. It's been a sunny start to the day so far. We're likely going to be finishing today on a very sunny note. Always nice to say on a Friday. Here's a look at what we've got going on across the southeastern United States. A little bit of cloud cover trying to work its way over the Outer Banks, but for most of the southeastern U.S., aside from, again, those few spot clouds over southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and western Kentucky, things are looking fairly clear. Here's kind of a zoomed in look at exactly what we've got here in the east. Again, a little bit of cloud cover right now moving over the Outer Banks, kind of cruising over the Pamlico Sound as well. But most inland areas right now are enjoying a beautiful sunshine. Air temperatures will be rising thanks to that plentiful sun. Going to be getting into the upper 70s today. Some areas may flirt with the low 80s, but I think most of us, again, maybe a degree or two warmer than where we found ourselves yesterday. Currently sitting at 66 degrees in Greenville. This is a view overlooking Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. North-northeasterly wind at 9 miles an hour. Dew point down in the mid-50s. Feeling fantastic outside. Air temperatures right now closer to I-95, more in the mid-60s. Those of you watching closer to the Pamlico Sound, more upper 60s to low 70s. 70s. Everybody, again, is going to continue to warm up, though, despite the northeasterly wind that is, again, still blowing in at about 6 to 12 miles an hour for most of the area. You will find stronger winds along the Outer Banks again today. That's not going to change even as we head into tomorrow, but we will again continue to see wind speeds overall continue to relax. So if you're kind of tired of the winds just whipping everything around, not to worry. We again will see a calmer wind profile show up for both Saturday as well as Sunday. Here's Saturday evening at around 6:30, and you see most inland areas dealing with single-digit wind speeds, whereas we've got about a 10 to 15 mile per hour sustained breeze along the Outer Banks and the Crystal Coast. Let's zoom the picture out a little bit further, see exactly what we've got on the way. Not a lot that's happening across the country. It's basically just being dominated by that area of high pressure. We've got in the area of low pressure, kind of a weak system just off the coast of Louisiana. In the Gulf, we also have another area of low pressure back towards Oregon and Idaho, and that is the one we need to keep our eyes on, because even though it is a long ways off, that could be essentially the parent system that gives us a pretty good shot of rain coming in next Wednesday afternoon to Wednesday evening. Not just a good shot of rain, we're possibly talking about some thunderstorms, getting into that fall-like pattern where cold fronts become a little bit more common, and we tend to see those cold fronts drop air temperatures down by about 10 degrees each time they pass. Now, that one, again, it's going to take its time reaching us. By the time we get to around Sunday morning, it should be set up over the Dakotas. But another area of low pressure will be developing along the kind of the southern tip of that cold front, and that's the system that will have our number. So here's what we've got for today. Chance of maybe a coastal drop or two coming up this afternoon along the Outer Banks. For tomorrow, similar story, but again, I wouldn't change any sort of plans over that slight chance. We'll see a better opportunity for rain showing up on Monday. Air temperatures, though, continue to rise from the mid to upper 70s today into the low 80s over the weekend and into the mid 80s as we reach Tuesday. Now, Wednesday's air temperatures are going to largely depend on when those thunderstorms move in. If they come in during the early afternoon, air temperatures will likely plateau in the low 80s. If it comes in a little bit later on in the early evening, we could be looking at, again, another round of the mid 80s coming up on Wednesday. So I just want to highlight the fact that there is certainly still some uncertainty with Wednesday's forecast and that incoming cold front. It will result in our best opportunity for rain we will see over the next 8 days, and it will likely impact everyone in eastern North Carolina. But as far as that severe weather threat goes, it's still too soon to truly tell. Well, that's all we have time for today's 10 a.m. News and Weather Update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.